Okay, a great stretch for the hip is pigeon pose. But what happens if you can't get into pigeon pose? What other option do you have? Let's run through a good hip stretch where you can't get into pigeon pose. What else can you do instead? Let's give it a go. So pigeon pose for some people can be quite intense. Maybe the pull in the hip is too much, or maybe the pull in the knee is a bit too much. So pigeon pose is where you've got your leg at an angle and you're leaning into it in this position, yeah? So just by simply having that leg at that angle and pushing so much of the body weight down into the hips can be quite tough. So what are some of the options that I give people to get into the hip? Real simple one. What you're looking for to do is bring in the hip in external rotation, okay? So with the hip, we can go internal rotation, so coming inwards, or external rotation, going outwards, okay? So on the back, you've probably seen people do this one before with the knees up. So let's say we want to get into the right hip. We're going to bring the right ankle just on top of that left knee. Then you can see that there's a little hole, I'll show you from that angle, that we've just kind of created. And I want to place the hands through that gap, okay? So I want to place the hands through that gap. This leg is off the floor. We've got two options. We can either grab the underside of the leg, so the hamstring, and we can pull that one in, and we can adjust this based on how much you're feeling it in that hip. Second option is we can grab hold of the shin. So you'll notice going from the hamstring, holding onto the shin, this pulls this in even more, yeah? So then we can lie ourselves back, relax the head back, and then just really sit into that nice stretch there, into that right hip, okay? So if you can't get into pigeon pose, if you're doing a class and it's just a bit too much for you, maybe your hip's giving you a bit of problems, or your knee's giving you a bit of problems, just really simple, lie down on your back, place that knee or place that foot on top of the knee, hands through the gap, and then pull it in. So you can adjust the pressure based on how you're feeling, okay? So there's a quick tip on how to get a good hip stretch when you can't do pigeon.